What is going on, everybody? Welcome to You Nerd It Here First, the only podcast you need for all your nerdy news, nerdy reviews, and more. We are on episode 4. That is 4 times we have graced you with our 4 heads on screen or 4 voices, whatever you like. It's a themed podcast today. As you're going to see, I've moved my mic, so hopefully you'll be able to
Sorry,
hear
you just
me
pointed out
much clearer.
foreheads. There's some big foreheads in this conversation.
There is.
We really do have.
I think Jimmy's the only safe one.
Yeah, Jimmy's got a.
Yeah, but that's all right. There's I got a small head, so it works out in the equation. I got big shoulders, small head, and a little forehead. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We have obviously the MVP mod, Jimmy. So Jimmy has his own little segment, and we're going to try and stay true to those segments. We've got the angry man, the grumpy man. He's in a mood today, but it is the one, the only, the art house, Lawson.
Hey.
And then we've got Damo, who almost missed it because he forgot that we do this weekly now. So
he's been on time 4 weeks in a row. So his credit. Just.
I'm here when we start recording.
Yeah. Luckily.
Right. So literally I woke up to pee and luckily checked my phone. And I was like, oh shit.
So that's pretty lucky. And we have a very big segment for you. I actually have a different website that I'm going to bring you the nerd news. So for you guys...
Can we let everyone know what we're going to talk about in the episode today, please? Because we didn't last time.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm going to be talking about the state of play. So obviously PlayStation's a brand new state of play and all their hypeness that is coming. What are you talking about, Jimmy?
I'm going to talk about my favorite book that I read last year, which is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
Ooh, nice.
Another book.
Nice. Awesome. Damo is going to bring us some degrading stories of his life.
No. Well,
yes,
I am. Yeah. Degenerative. I wanted to just have like a nerd discussion, and my question is, what is the most generatively nerdy thing you've done in your life? I think that'd be some fun discussions.
Okay. And Lawson's got a surprise that he wants us to oversell, so that he's really excited.
Surprise! It's super exciting. You have to stick around for the end. The twist will shock you.
Wait till the end. That's what I want. I like it that you're not as grumpy. Look at that. Once it's down the road.
Maybe stop saying grumpy.
No, he bites every time.
I know. You keep telling me, "Oh, get out of your mood, get out of your mood, shake it off, do some star jumps," and then you just keep poking.
Oh, fuck you, grumpy.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, of course. I thought you'd know this by now.
There was something. Oh, Woosah. That we were saying that earlier before we started recording. Started saying Woosah. That literally was what my friends and stuff used to say to me in high school when I was raging out. It came from, what movie was that from? That was like
Seinfeld.
Is it? I thought it was like anger management.
It probably is Seinfeld, but I think there was something in the mid 2000s that came out that was also in that resurged it.
The movie Anger Management.
Oh, that might have been it. Right, and I did get anger management in high school, so that probably makes sense in terms of the joke.
All right. Well,
yeah. So
that was unrelated but funny at the same time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good. Also, there is no nerd news about patch notes unless people really want to know about the patch notes that are coming. Nope. Cool.
Nope.
Executive decision. Cool.
Let that joke die now.
No, because
was it a joke, or was it just the first place that we got nerd news from that was just reading it off?
A bit of both. You learned about 2 new games, so everything's a win. It's a win-win from my books.
I've already forgotten them.
Animal Shelter Simulator and also New York City Emergency something. So I've forgot the second one. But anyway,
Jimmy, nerd news intro.
Ooh, good.
Nerd news. Nerd.
Oh, hell yeah. That's nostalgic.
And,
finish it. You just gotta no.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay,
was it?
Okay, yeah, it's cool.
It's the reverse Nickelodeon.
Sorry, it's not as good as yours.
I'm not comparing.
I get it. All right. I get it.
All right. Yeah. All right, Damon, you remember the rules?
Oh, I do.
Please.
Yeah.
So no need to rehash them.
Because
We all know the rules.
I don't think we've ever used them beyond the. Do you remember the rules part?
Yep,
Yeah.
that sounds like another podcast I've listened to before.
But anyway, Call of Duty has made a deal with Nintendo. So Call of Duty is now coming to Nintendo. I wonder if it's going to be like the FIFA, because FIFA is shocking on the Switch. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just port it and then you don't even get like proper Ultimate Team.
Yeah, it'd be a crappy port.
It'd be
Surely.
shocking.
Yeah.
Like
this,
they don't.
Echo
It just
Match is
doesn't
doing
have the.
well.
It doesn't have the hardware to run it, right?
No, I don't think it does.
It'll run it just at 720, and you can't play it
And-
on portable because the Joy-Cons sticks are terrible sensitivity. You could never get aim right. I tried playing Overwatch once on the handheld mode. It's a mess. You can't aim for shit.
Yeah, right.
So
Wow.
So Overwatch on Switch.
it is. Overwatch 2 is
okay,
free on
didn't know.
Switch. Yeah, been
Yeah,
playing
well.
it in bed,
Oh,
but
but it's no
only
good.
with characters that don't require aim.
Okay. Right. This one really
But
grinds.
nothing's changed.
Ooh, no.
Sorry, I had
This one grinds my gears, but if you guys are up to date with The Amazing Spider-Man, which is in its new sort of arc and new director, how familiar are you guys with Spider-Man?
I'd get around
have
Spider-Man.
Heard of Spider-Man?
You've heard of Spider-Man?
Nothing past fucking Andrew.
All right.
Andrew?
Well, this is in the actual comic realm, so this is the newest one, The Amazing Spider-Man. This one grinds my gears. So how familiar with you with Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson? So you know that they're always been a
love interest.
The classic love interest. And then you know that Spider-Man and Black Cat also have a bit of on and off again, depending on what series. Okay.
Well,
did
I
not
know
know
what Black
that.
Cat is, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Is it just Catwoman?
Well,
It's literally a black cat.
yeah, she's like a cat burglar. So it's essentially Marvel.
Oh, she's in the game, right?
Yeah.
The new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her in the game.
So this is spoiler territory.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are not going to read the comics, I'm assuming. So I'm going to say it
I'm
anyway.
gonna care. Yep.
Yep.
Nope.
Peter has now confessed to Black Cat that he no longer sees Mary Jane Watson as a love interest. He sees her as a sister. I hate it. I hate the entire thing. Like my romance with Peter Parker and Mary Jane, it's always been those two.
Yeah, but what's wrong with changing it up?
Nope, hate it. Just get a new hero.
But how many Spider-Man comics have there been?
Heaps, but if you're going to
And
have
it's all been Mary Jane.
Yeah, and that's what it needs to be. It needs to be the love interest between Peter Parker and Mary Jane. It's the internal love that needs to follow with those two.
I don't like change, says Jay Ryman.
No,
Yeah,
with the
I gotta
tism.
side with.
Let's be the
this-
same.
I gotta side with Damo on this one. It's like change is fine. Comic books change all the time.
Nope.
It happens.
No, if you're gonna get a new love interest, do it with Miles Morales. He can have whoever he wants.
Do you love Spider-Verse? Do you like that movie?
I do like that movie. I don't like every rendition of the Spider-Man, but
you like some of them, right?
I do. Yes. What about it?
Well, at the beginning, it would have just been the same old Spider-Man.
And I'm okay
But they
with
were
that.
like, hey, we need to make some change. We need to mix it up a bit. Let's make some different Spider-Mans, different characters, different settings, etc.
Yeah, but if it's a different timeline, then fine. Go with a different romance with Peter Parker. But if you're going to stay with the Amazing Spider-Man and have Mary Jane Watson in there, it needs to have it. Like if you were going with, you could have the clone, like Ben Reilly, who was the clone of Spider-Man. He could have a different love interest completely.
So if it wasn't the Amazing Spider-Man, you would be more okay with it?
I'd be okay with it. But if you're running in the original, then it should stay with the original.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand when you've got that sort of original source material and you get really attached to that, and you're like, I just want to see that story again in a new way. I get it.
Yeah,
but you're also wrong. Change is good.
Nope, you guys are wrong. We're following down that path.
I have no opinion.
Yep. Okay. Sons of the Forest came out very recently. I think it came out Friday. Just gone.
I want to know more about this game.
So, Sons of the Forest sells 2 million copies in 24 hours and has 350,000 concurrent players. That's pretty impressive.
I have actually, yeah, I've seen TikToks of this game. I didn't know what game it was, but now I do.
Yeah,
It's the follow-up to
Very
the
good
Forest.
reviews too.
So
It's a sequel.
yeah,
Mhm.
they've released it. They have not released it as a full game. They've released it as
Early access.
early access because they wanted to keep the same release date. But for $30, I think on Steam, you'll be able to get that for the early access, and it looks really fun.
We should do this on stream. We should.
It is
do this on
multiplayer.
stream.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many players. Up to 8 friends. Yeah.
okay.
Dude, we should do this because we do base building and stuff, which would be really funny, and especially when we cut down a tree and it's going to land on our. Ryman is going to cut down a tree and it's going to land on our log, and we're all going to
I'm
rage.
already
here.
mad preemptively.
What do you mean? I wouldn't
What do
wreck
you mean,
our
what do you
own
mean?
base. I would
Fucking
build our
80% of
base.
your recent content on TikTok is just making me mad. Well, not just me, actually, making us mad.
No, the last one. I wasn't even the main instigator. Most of that was Damo. That
Damo
rage...
was one. Damo was the
he was
the opposite
more...
instigator. He did the last one. You were fucking every other time.
Whatever. Says the man who just had to stay still and panicked. Ooh, I think everyone had a little moment there.
Yeah, of course. I fucked up.
I think we all.
We're not talking about mistakes. We're talking about being a piece of shit to annoy your friends.
Whoa. He's saying I do that 80%.
Lawson, we cannot play Fortnite if we do this game on Thursday.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, I'm down.
It's $45.
45. What about like G2A and that sort of stuff? I
I spent twice in that on fucking monster hunting game. I played once with you,
Doesn't tend to happen with new games.
Yeah, monster hunting is happening on Tuesday.
Sells codes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
$45, that's fine.
Not bad.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You play it more than once. That'd be good.
Ooh, nice. Also, Dragon Age, lots of people are calling for a PS5 remaster, and I am all about that. That was one of my favorite games in the 2000s. So good. That was like BioWare's.
Back when BioWare was good.
Yeah, in their peak. And then, I don't know what, they just dropped the ball. I think they got merged with someone or other. Like they got bought as a separate entity into, I think EA bought them up. And then they brought out Anthem, which is a shocker.
Didn't do great.
When they selling that,
and Mass Effect Andromeda, oh my god, that was garbage, hot garbage.
I didn't mind the gameplay of that though, but the story was shocking. Did you see the characters? The characters were shocking. The character models.
Oh, just awful.
Yeah. And I got one more bit of interesting news on the old nerd news. So Atomic Hearts, which you would have, if you saw my stream, you guys would have seen that. That's with the robots with mustaches. That is getting quite a lot of backlash from multiple fronts. Mainly, the Ukraine government is calling for users to avoid the game.
Oh, because it's about the Russian. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Yeah. But are people going to listen to that? Like, just look at Hogwarts Legacy. Like, that's pretty much the most played game. Like, they've had a massive
different controversy, though.
I was going to say that. I think there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah,
one's a world war potential, and one is a transphobic bitch. Like, to me, they're very different issues.
Yeah, I know.
And Harry Potter has a fan base of people that's been built over 20 years now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who've spent the last 20 years separating the art from artist.
And ready for a game. People.
Yeah, I think a game where you're playing sort of a Russian power. Not that you're on that side. I mean, we haven't played enough. I don't know much about it, but yeah, I can see why.
Okay.
I can see it is like, now that you mention it, it's a pretty, I mean, probably not the right time to release a game like that.
I understand from the point where the game has probably been in development for a long time.
Yes.
And we're just going into a time where we haven't like there wasn't anything like this during like other like world conflicts. I mean, well, that's not true. Like how much Middle East like shooters did we get through the 2000s, and it didn't seem to be that big an issue. So
that's because people don't care about the Middle East.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it really doesn't like they don't care when like you're playing
Not
the
what.
US.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't think people care about the Ukraine anymore either. Like we kind of, it's not in the news anymore. Everyone moved on.
No, because UFOs, everybody.
Yeah, it's because aliens are real.
Mm-hmm.
But
The news cycle, sad. We don't have attention spans anymore.
No.
I know I don't.
No.
Yeah, it's all vertical videos and short burst forms.
Mm-hmm. I saw a TikTok the other day, or a
Ooh.
live channel the other day. It was a live with 3 screens on one screen. It was Family Guy, the person playing like Subway Surfers, and a person playing Minecraft. All 3 with all 3 sounds playing at once on the same screen.
Oh my god,
it's ridiculous. I don't.
Okay.
Is that really what people enjoy these days?
I reckon
Kids these days.
I reckon I could do that.
I'm terrible for like sitting down to watch something and then like grabbing out my phone and starting to like flick through shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Multiple sounds is fun.
Yeah, I just think that on one screen. I mean, come on. I mean, look. I hate to be an old man, but back in my day, we would sometimes, like on Newgrounds, you'd wait 15 minutes, 10 minutes to watch a 2-minute video sometimes. Like you would just sit there.
The old buffering.
Yeah.
And remember when you used to get a phone call with old dial up? You just knew it was coming, you speak and you freak out. It was like,
Mom!
Scream with your family, get off the phone. Yeah.
Just and the pictures loading like this. Like oh man.
Even
and now we
printing.
can't watch one thing at a time. Yeah, printing was crazy.
It was so loud as well. And then
there was like
printers.
You like those printers?
Like dot matrix printers where you'd have like all the pages were like one sheet and you had to rip at the perforation and they had like the side bits with all the holes.
Yeah, and you tear them off.
Yeah,
we're old.
There was a like a drug trade almost at our school. Like there was a bunch of guys had good printers at home. So they used to print like Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh and like football team things like on A4, just A4 print, so they'd find online. They used to print them. Another guy used to put pictures on floppy disks. And we'd all trade like photos, floppy disks for food because I had pretty good food compared to some of my friends, like my lunch boxes. So I was like, I'll trade a pack of chips for like an A4 print.
Nice.
It's insane how much because it was early tech and like I mean, my family didn't have the internet until like 2006. I was at like year 10. It's weird, so different.
I got a similar selling story from high school. I had a American friend who had all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards before, like Yu-Gi-Oh the show had come out in Australia, but the cards hadn't been released in Australia, and he had, decks of them, right? And he would just go and sell like the shittest, most common card for $5 each, and then Blue Eyes, which is huge in the show, but you could just get it in a basic pack. He'd sell them for like $100, and these kids he made like thousands of dollars in like 2 weeks, man.
That's so good.
Oh, we were all buying them. It was good. Yeah,
that's good. I used to do that with So Fresh CDs. We had a CD burner. We used to buy the So Freshes, and then I used to burn them and then sell them for $10 a pop. I was just in primary school with all these like burnt CDs and stuff, selling them out. Yeah. It was pretty fun.
So how lucky you are, listeners, if you're born after the 2000s.
Oh man, nowadays I can be 80% interested in a video on YouTube or something, right? And I click it, and let's say it's not working or not loading for 2 to 4 seconds, and if that's I'm backing out of it. Like my attention span's gone. I could have really wanted to watch it, but I'm like, nah, too long.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. As soon as I go to a Twitch page and they've got the auto ads that start as soon as you enter it.
Yeah, so many
I leave it straight away. Yeah.
That's why I put mine at the end of the hour, so that when you come in, you get the content. Unfortunately, you do get like 5 in a row, which is unfortunate, but I feel like that's a better.
Hopefully,
at least by then you're already invested. Yeah, exactly. You're hooked, especially with your content. And
then you sub.
Yeah, that's right. Get on board.
Or
if you want to catch the replays and all sorts of fun content like this podcast, make sure you spread the word for ReimannTV, and then also follow Shork _91 on Twitch. So get on board on that one.
I'm
Oh,
one
it's
off
down there in
my
the video.
follower goal.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get excited.
31.
Nice. And let's move on to State of Play. Damo, can you give us a jingle for State of Play?
Are we doing jingles for everyone now?
No, I just like to put you on the spot. Just do it.
Ah. Hey everyone, it's the State of Play.
Wow.
Can I finish it?
That's very close to
Yeah,
how
that
I
was
would-
finished.
Yeah, finish it. Can you finish it?
It's, yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Do you
that's
know what
it.
State of Play is, Damo?
No, what's the State of Play?
Oh.
It's a
Enlighten me.
PlayStation's Nintendo Direct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, because like no one's doing E3 now?
Yeah, pretty much.
I
E3's
guess so,
not a thing.
yeah.
They're just doing their own stuff. But
Yeah, right.
that's about the same excitement I have for the first game that they've announced, which is the
Oh.
extended look at the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So Gotham Knights was shocking. I don't know if you guys saw that or played any of it. Like
No.
the Arkham Knight and all of those Batman ones, really good, really fun.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
They tried
It's
to
one of my favorite games.
They tried to put that across into Gotham Knights, where you play like as Nightwing and a few of the other DC heroes, but it was just clunky and it was terrible. Where they're now doing it with the Suicide Squad. So the Suicide Squad are getting their own like game. It looks identical pretty much to Gotham Knights in terms of you've got your 4 different characters to play, and each of them have their different sort of gameplay. So you got Harley Quinn, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot, but it just doesn't look that good. So
I
No,
think
they
the
went for
thing
the
for
effort in.
me is though the fact that I can play it with people saves it from the fact that it's
Yeah.
not as good a game.
Oh, you play
Like,
it with
Because
people.
I think it's always more fun with
Gotham
other
Knights
people.
is like 2-player co-op the whole way through, and it's like because there's always you play those single player games like that, and you're like, oh, how cool would this be if I could just have like someone like drop in and we could go around and
Yeah,
do all
fair.
this together.
Mm.
So like I know like Gotham Knights is still on my list to play. I was waiting until it came down a little bit in price because of the review bombs, but the fact that I can I'm looking forward to being able to play through with a mate and be like and just enjoy it for what it is. But if it has co-op, I feel like I can get something else out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Because even
right.
shit games are fun with friends.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to pay full price for it. It'd
Probably
be
not, no.
It'd be a sale
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I'm looking at a gameplay video now. It looks like a late 360 game. Like it doesn't look any nicer than like I don't know. It Takes Two. Talking of co-op games, like it just looks like it looks really poor for a
Yeah,
current
right.
gen game. But whatever. I mean, like you said, does it matter?
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know if you're going
Especially
to
a
push.
Suicide Squad game. It's not like you're gonna play it for an in-depth story.
Well, Suicide
Gonna
Squad
be some
2
bullshit.
wasn't too bad. That was actually a reasonable film.
It was
compared to-
fun, but again, it wasn't an in-depth story.
No, compared to
Was
one
it-
though, one was shocking.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah.
I had a great time with the new Suicide Squad. I've
Mm.
watched it
Yeah.
multiple times.
And are you guys a Street Fighter fan at all? Did you play
Yes.
any? Yep. So there is 3.
Hadouken!
Ooh.
Hadouken!
There is 3 new
Sorry.
Street Fighter 6 characters coming. So
Zangief finally.
Yep, he's a wrestler, so he actually looks pretty cool. His combos look interesting. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Lily as well, who looks like quite a
Zangief is old. Like he's in every single game.
But he wasn't in
so I don't
Street
know why
Fighter
they're
6
only-
yet.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
That's the only one I haven't done.
Uh,
How is he not in Street Fighter 6? Are we paying
know.
for that? Is that paid DLC?
they've just been confirmed for it. I don't think they've actually said if it's
Street
DLC or
Fighter
not.
had some. This is why I stopped playing. Street Fighter 5 had some. 4 as well had all of them had awful DLC, like as in just real predatory. And I think Street Fighter 5 came out as like half a game at full price, and then didn't
Mhm.
get the rest of it. Like
Yeah.
real shitty practices. So
Wow, okay.
Should also clarify
The
while we're
fact-
talking about this. That sorry, I realize you've.
no, you go. No, I was done.
No.
I was done.
Okay. Street Fighter 6 isn't out yet. This is just they're
Okay, right.
slowly releasing, like get a look at the characters.
Yeah.
So we're now getting a look at Zangief and Cammy's back as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cammy
back,
looks like Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
was
that's
that
fair.
was that the character choice, or I'm not a big Street Fighter.
Cammy was always the like soldier chick that you could see just almost everything.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
had a G-string that was
Camouflage.
camouflaged. Yep.
All right. And then you've got Lily as well, who looks like a very nimble character with some type of sword with a ball on the end.
Yeah, she's new.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
But Baldur's Gate 3 is launching on August 31 or August 31st. So that was early access.
Sorry, that's clicked in my mind. Baldur's Gate what?
Baldur's Gate 3. I
Okay.
really liked Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. They were really fun games. And I didn't do the early access because I wanted to wait for the full game. So I'm excited for August 31st to actually play the full game.
Is
Tried
that
a few
when
D&D games. I never get around them.
No,
Like,
is
I
that
want to
when
get
it
around
comes
them.
out, or is that when it comes out on PlayStation?
that's the game is set for release on PlayStation 5 and PC on August 31st. It's already out for early access on PC, but it's getting its full
If you want to know
release.
if you're gonna like it or not, you just go and buy Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah,
I
same
like that
here,
one
boy.
too. Yeah. One of my favorite games is Resident Evil 4, and it is looking good. I've pre-ordered the remake for PlayStation 5, but we have confirmation that Mercenary mode is coming back as well. So, did you guys ever play Resident Evil 4, where it went
I
more
played the
action?
shit out of it, but I did not ever play Mercenary mode.
Okay, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the
What
sort
is
of
Mercenary
game
mode?
that I would finish, and I would immediately start playing it from the start again.
Nice.
Because like you'd
Nice.
finish it, and
Yeah,
then
right,
you'd get
really?
you'd get the new skins for Leon and Ashley, and you'd get the new guns. Or like you'd get I think you finish it the first time, and then you'd get the Matilda, and then if you were playing on PS2, if you finished it again, then you'd get another set of skins for them, and like Ashley would get like a suit of armor sort of thing. But I played on GameCube, so didn't get that. But yeah, I would just start playing it from scratch again.
Yeah,
That's sick.
it's good. And Jimmy, you're going to be excited about this one, but Bungie reveals Destiny 2 at Lightfall. There's a new trailer ahead for
This week.
for the release. It looks pretty cool. I did watch it just before, and I'm intrigued to. I don't know if I want to pay to try it, but I am interested to see what it's like.
I mean, the base game is free to play.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, no, not doing that.
Not jumping in that.
I know we talked about it, but I didn't need another game to get me into degenerative
Right.
mode.
I mean, I could organize the raid team for us.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
I mean, I got time.
Yeah. All right. I'm interested.
I'm gonna find out how long it would take us to get from starting to raid, and then we can decide from there.
All right, that's a good
You
call.
You gotta let me drop off the map for a bit and play the new stuff.
Okay.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there is 5 new virtual reality games coming. So the Foglands, Green Hell, Tetris Effect, Chiamcha, I don't even know what that is, and Goodbye Volcano. There is also a Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm collection coming, which I quite like the Naruto games, but I've kind of fallen off the map with those ones because I don't really care that much about Boruto. But yeah, they've been pumping them out. And that is your PlayStation State of Play.
Ooh.
PlayStation VR 2 apparently is getting some pretty good reviews.
Okay.
I've seen that.
Does it still give you like motion sickness and stuff from it?
I think that's just VR in general sometimes.
If you are that person, you're going to get that.
Yeah,
there are like I had a Vive for a while, and there were some games that I could play for like a couple of hours straight. There are some games that every 10-15 minutes I'd feel like I need to sit down because I was getting a bit of vertigo. And there was a couple that I played for like 30 seconds a minute, and I was like, I can't do this. This is going to ruin me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was playing my VR yesterday actually. And it depends. If there's a game where, because some games you've got to like you got to reach forward and like grab almost in order to walk. I find that's okay because at least I'm pulling to walk. If I have to walk with a joystick, as soon as the joystick starts moving, it fucking throws out my balance. Like
the joystick to
quite
move
confusing.
was one thing, but it's because it's so instinctual to then use the right joystick to look.
Sure.
And because lots of them would let you do that.
Yeah.
So that like you could
That
you
would
didn't
fuck
have
my
to
brain.
turn the whole way around, and like you
Mm.
just kind of it would start to mess with you.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I like games like
Beat
Beat
Saber.
Saber and stuff where I'm just standing still, wave my arms around. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Let's get into people's favorite segment, which is Jimmy Recommends. So,
Go Lawson.
Lawson wants the jingle.
Oh, I'm just gonna copy Reimann's Jimmy Recommend segment.
Yes, it's a good one. Go, Jimmy.
All right, today I'm talking about a book again. This book is called Project Hail Mary, and it's written by Andy Weir. Have any of you read or seen The Martian?
Yep.
Film?
I've
Yeah,
seen it.
so
I know of it.
same author. So sci-fi again. I really love my my sci-fi novels. So this one actually came up last year as one of Audible's like free monthly books, and it was on my list, so I grabbed it and listened to it, and it like grabbed me immediately. So it's you have your main character who wakes up in a room, doesn't know where he is, doesn't remember who he is, and as the book goes on, you find out that he's in a spaceship, and he is trying to figure out what's going on, and it turns out into a whole like save the earth sort of like story. But the thing that really kept me going with it is, and it's something that Andy Weir does a lot, is his science fiction writing is very based in science.
Okay.
And like if you've seen The Martian, you'd get that. I know The Martian has lots of things that people are like, oh, that's not quite accurate, but he does the research and he tries to base it in our world. So there's like the ways that he found out that he's in a spaceship was trying to like he's doing experiments to try and figure out what sort of gravity he's under and what sort of acceleration, and like it's all real science, and that kind of gives that, for me, it gives that extra little setting of like, oh, this is like somewhat plausible, like which makes me feel like more rooted in the world.
Yeah, that's 100%. Do you feel though sometimes like that creates a barrier for the not simple-minded, but like, does that create like an intellectual barrier?
Look, I don't think it's not presented in a way that it's like it expects you to know what it is. I don't think Damo has the same configuration of squares as I do, so he's pointing to nothing.
Yeah, you're pointing to nothing on us.
Okay, which way is Reimann?
For me,
Reimann, where are you?
I'm above
Reimann,
you,
yeah, see, for me, that's me.
Yeah,
that's me.
Before you were pointing at Lawson.
So, but yeah, like I do think that it probably would be a barrier for entry for some people, but it is presented in a way that it's like it's not trying to make you feel stupid for not knowing it.
Yeah, sure.
Like you pretty much you get the feeling early on that like, oh no, okay, this guy was like a science teacher. You get that early, and it's like that's how he knows these bits and pieces. And I'm gonna spoil some of it. Just to try and sell the hook a little bit more. But about halfway through, he comes across another being that is also trying to save their own planet from the same issue. And I thought that in every kind of piece of fiction, that this was the best depicted way of like showing like actual first contact and showing like human alien sort of interactions, because it's not your classic like bipedal like looks like us but green, and it was like a really cool way of showing how you would try to start communicating with something just on a completely different level. And again, it goes into the science about where these people or this race was from, which like give to their like the design of their spacecraft and the different issues that they've faced.
Yeah, I do love that
and whatnot.
Okay,
So he is on a ship. So our main character is on a ship. He was meant to be with 2 other people, and they both died before he woke up, sort of thing. You find out this other alien was on a ship with heaps of people, and they all died. And this alien race is from a planet that's so close to their sun and in their gravity well that they don't get light and they don't get radiation. So they didn't know about radiation. Like, he has to explain what radiation is and radiation of space and like, yeah. But
how is it spoiler territory if I ask how they communicate?
it's a big part of them. Like, it's a big part of the book figuring out how to communicate.
Yeah, cool.
Because it's one of those things where the race doesn't they don't speak per se. They they do speak through sounds, but it's like it's described as them speaking through like musical chords, sort of thing. Like you can hear multiple notes, but the basis of how they start communicating is with clocks, because a number system is probably the easiest thing to try and get some sort of like counting.
Makes sense.
But it goes down universal. To like these things have three fingers on each appendage, sort of thing. So all of their time and counting is based on base 6. Like we're based on base 10 because we've got 10 digits on our hands, sort of thing. So and it goes from there. But it builds up, it gets exciting. You get constant flashbacks as he starts to remember more, which builds out the story of what's happening on Earth and how it's led to him being here. But yeah, from start to finish, it just had me hooked. I was trying to find time to get back and finish it off. So
yeah, sounds really
that's
cool.
That's my Jimmy recommends.
And is this like a one book series?
This is a one book. This is a one book, one off.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
There is talks about a film in the works.
All right.
I'm trying to think. Give me 2 seconds because I want to know who was keen on it.
Well, considering The Martian did pretty well, I don't see why they wouldn't start to adapt his other stuff.
Who was in The Martian?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon was in The Martian.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling is going to apparently star in this film, and I think he's got something to do with kind of bringing it to screens as well. I'd seen The Martian, but I hadn't read it. I went back and read The Martian after.
Is there much difference?
If they do, there's like little bits and pieces, but if they do as good a job of kind of hitting the main bits like they did in The Martian, then I'm pretty keen to see this as a film.
Was The Martian the one where he had to grow potatoes with his poop?
That's the one
where he gets left on Mars. So I mean, similar sort of premise where you have one person on Mars, and this one you have one person.
Yeah, I know. I really like.
I
remember from that movie that they kept the science quite realistic.
Yeah,
and I was like, you had that feeling of like, oh, this could happen.
Yeah, because it kind of just keeps you a little bit more grounded than. And don't get me wrong, I love all sorts of sci-fi,
of course.
I'll have things like Red Rising that I talked about a while ago, where like no one talks about where the gravity on a ship comes from. And then I'll have things like this, and I don't know if any of you have seen The Expanse on Amazon.
No.
I've read the Expanse books, and like they talk a lot about like gravity only comes from accelerating or decelerating, and they talk about when their ships are like traveling through space, like when they get halfway to where they're going, they need to flip the ship around and start like decelerating, because that's how space works. Like there's no resistance. You can't just, if you stop accelerating, you don't slow down like you would in a car.
Yeah.
So, right.
That's good.
So sometimes I find sometimes I find that extra bit of science just kind of makes it feel a little bit more real when you're kind of dealing with like space and all this stuff that just is so not real, sort of thing.
Right.
definitely.
I'd be keen if Ridley Scott does the
was gonna
next
say, yeah.
adaptation as well.
I was gonna say, is there any word of the director of the Hail Mary adaptation?
Film adaptation. I know Gosling is going to produce it and star in it. It'll be directed and produced by filmmaking duo Phil Lord and Christopher Miller.
Phil Lord.
I'm not sure I know those names.
No.
Oh, what have they worked on? They did the 21 Jump Street film.
Oh, yes.
They directed
And Cloudy
and
with
wrote
a Chance of Meatballs.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lego movie.
That was a good movie, though.
Wow, that's an interesting.
And they have some
An
writing
interesting backlog
credits.
for this.
Writing credits on the Lego movie too, and both the Spider-Verse films.
That's
Yeah,
a
right.
weird take, though.
Yeah.
Quite weird.
They were
Righto.
executive producer on Solo, a Star Wars story.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're all looking at the
Means
same
nothing though.
Wikipedia
Executive
page.
producers,
Probably.
overall.
And also
Wow.
producer on the Lego Ninjago movie. I quite like the Ninjago.
Really?
Yeah. He was a
Can't say I've given it any time.
producer of Cocaine Bear.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh, and the Mitchells vs. the Machines, which I quite enjoyed.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Mm.
Netflix
Oh
animation.
yeah, I really enjoyed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs as well. It's one of my favorite animations.
That's a good
It
film.
just seems like a really weird sort of catalog.
Resume.
Yeah, resume. Considering, but yeah, whatever. It's not even out yet. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
No, we'll come back
Cool.
when and if
I'd
it's a
be
film.
interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Would you so because I'm heavily thinking about getting Audible,
Yep.
getting like my first book. Would you recommend this over what's the other one called again? The
Red Rising.
Project.
Nah, Red Rising
Rising.
would be Red Rising. Look, Red Rising's my favorite. Like I think my favorite books now. But it is.
Mhm.
I do know that it's a trilogy. So if you
sure.
start one, I feel like to get everything out of it, you need to commit to all three.
Yep,
Where if you're
yep.
just looking for one to kind of get into and a one and done, then Project Hail Mary is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lawson,
Project Hail Mary.
I'd probably recommend doing the library one first before you commit $15 a month to Audible, because it'll be
I'll
free.
do the free trial.
You can do the free trial. You get one book, and if you're liking it, then go from there.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can use the library one, and it's free. And they would have this book, considering Andy's a pretty big author with his catalog.
I do think that the Andy Weir stuff, the audiobooks, might be Audible exclusives.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because Audible have a few Audible exclusive books that I think they put a little bit of money into producing.
Okay.
Interesting.
There you go.
Have you listened to the audiobook of this one?
Yeah, this is where I listened to the audiobook. So audiobook was great. I've recommended it to a few people. I recommended it to my father-in-law. He read it over a couple of days. He loved it. Recommended it to a couple of friends. I'll admit, some have loved it. Some have been like, it was good, but it wasn't my sort of thing. But I loved it. So that's why I recommended it.
All right.
Cool.
How big is how many pages is it?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Okay, I'll have a look on Audible.
Be able to tell you. I might be able to tell you how long it is if I can.
It's a 16 hour and 10 minutes.
There you go.
On Audible.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea of reference though. I don't know if that's a lot or little or I don't know.
No,
that's
reasonable. Mine are usually around 10 to 20. So.
Okay.
Yeah, the fantasy ones are normally about 30 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Audible sponsor incoming.
Yeah, so it's only for Audible. So
yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go then.
Give it a go. Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you've read it, let us know in the comments what you thought of it.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into Damo's degrading stories.
That was your recommend segment.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to have a bit of a nerd discussion. And I'm genuinely interested in these stories. We haven't told each other what the stories are. But yeah, I want to know each other's most degeneratively nerdy sort of moment in our lives. And for those who don't know what degeneratively nerdy means, I like to think of it as, we've all, I'd hope to think that we've all had moments in our life where we've absolutely just put aside our humanity for the game, for the gaming. Whether that's, just obscene amounts of hours or, not showering or eating properly for long periods of time, or just other, like, making really poor life choices.
Yeah.
For the game. Mine has a lot to do with this game, the old World of Warcraft.
I'm sure that, like, it's funny here that 50% of our, sorry to spoil for Jimmy.
Yeah.
50% of our what the fuck? I can't think of the words. God damn it.
Degenerative stories.
Yeah, but the sample size, 50% of our sample size is going to be about WoW, and I reckon the planet is probably 50% sample size as well.
I was going to say, you say we haven't told each other about our stories, but I don't think mine's that unknown.
It's good. It's good. So,
yeah, 100%. I do know yours now, Jimmy. Anyway,
so I've got kind of two. One will be really quick. The most recent degenerate. So, World of Warcraft. Most people know World of Warcraft, biggest online MMO game ever. I've been playing it since the second expansion, Burning Crusades. I've been playing it on and off for 15, 16 years. I normally play when a new expansion comes out, play it like ridiculously for a couple of months, 6 months-ish, and then I drop off and then wait till the next one comes out. My game time is, I think,
God.
I can't remember the last time I
go on, log in, /played.
No, it'll take me too long. I've uninstalled it for now. I think my total /played, it's definitely a year. Probably
a year
more.
Of game time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
I think it's actually more than that too. It's a lot.
That's insane.
Yeah.
No judgment. No judgment.
And I reckon the worst long period of time was actually fairly recently with the expansion Shadowlands, which came out. It wasn't the holidays just gone, or it was the holidays before that, the summer holidays. And so, this is the first time as a permanent teacher and having World of Warcraft. So I was getting paid in the holidays, right? And I hadn't had experienced that before, so I didn't have to do anything over the holidays. And my partner did. She was out working all during the day, and she goes to bed pretty early. So suddenly I'm like, wait, I've got unchecked free reign, getting paid school holidays. And I think it was a particularly long school holidays because they're not always the same, at least 6 weeks. And I played for like over 12 hours a day every single day of that holidays.
What?
Yeah. I neglected everything. I can't remember what I was eating. I don't know. Jess would go to school in the morning, go to work. Like, she worked at Nosh, and I'd be like, "Bye, honey." I'd probably already been on for an hour, and then just play nonstop in my chair until she got home, and then I'd get off for a little bit, hang out with her. She'd go to bed at like 8:39. I'm like, "All right, bye, good night," and play. And I hope she doesn't watch this, because I don't think she even realizes just how many hours
bad it was.
I was playing. If she knew, she wouldn't have let me.
I can only think of the South Park episode of when they're in the what is it, the basement or whatever, and he's just sitting there. That's all I can picture you doing.
Yeah, and I didn't feel okay at the end of it. I was like, this is not okay. This is not normal. So I quit after the holidays. Like, school went back, and I was like, I can't do this.
I don't have anything
quickly, the other story was when I was a young tacker. This is when we first started playing WoW, and so like when I started playing WoW, I worked at a LAN center. It was like a gaming store and LAN center, and they had 10 computers in this little back room. And we had about 10 mates, and we were all playing WoW together in the same room. So it was so much fun. Like, I can't think of a better gaming time of my life. But we used to have these things called lock-ins where we'd pay money to stay as a group, and we could stay at the store from 6 p.m. till 2 in the morning. And like whoever worked had to like supervise it. But since I worked there, I could supervise while also playing.
Of course.
So, and I hope the owners of the store, I know the owners of the store. I used to, because I had the keys, I had the alarm code. I used to sneak people in all the time after hours, and we'd all play WoW together. And we knew the passwords to like not have to pay. So I'd like, so the computer would open. We weren't paying. We were there all the time. And then this one time, it was me and a friend who I will not name. We went. He just started playing WoW. He'd only just started. He was like level 10 or something. So he was like, the hook was in, and I was hooking him in. I was like, it was like a drug. It's like I give you a little taste of a drug, and I'll guide you through the experience. He had lost his license, unfortunately. We would have been 18, 19. He'd lost his license for other reasons. And I'd just finished work, and I'd gotten home, and we were like, no, we'd played WoW until about 10 o'clock at night, and then I had to go home for something. And then we were like, hey, we should go back. We should play WoW. And I couldn't drive at the time. And he was like, I'll pick you up. And all for the WoW. And so he drives, he picks me up. We're going back to the store. We pull up at the store. And the police pull him over.
All for the WoW.
All for the WoW. And he had to go to the police station. He had to do interviews and stuff. He was there for about 2 hours. I was waiting outside like the police station for him. He was thinking he's gonna like lose his license for even longer, get this huge fine, stay in jail, like, you know, all that sort of thing, right? Luckily, he was young, he was remorseful, and we made up some story about having to go back to the store for some important reason, right? Like we lied, and then he got what he's like got let off with a warning, right? So we're like, oh wow, we're so lucky. Cool. It's about midnight at this point. We're like, oh, thank God. And you know, he hasn't got a license, so he's like, you know, get someone to pick you up. We got to go home. But we had WoW to play. We got right back in that car, and we drove back to the store, and we played WoW.
So stupid.
We went into the store, turned off the alarm, and played WoW till like 6 a.m, and then went home.
Yep.
And that was some poor life choices for World of Warcraft.
For sure.
That's
fucking hell.
That's something.
I feel like you should have gone last because my I don't have any WoW level of stories, you know.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't think we can top that one, but
well, Jimmy,
I'm sure Jimmy might. I don't know.
Just continue with the WoW. Bad
life
choices
going.
due to WoW. First off, let's ask some good WoW questions. Hoarder Alliance.
Started Alliance, and then for some nerdy reason we had to change to Horde, and then all of us changed to Horde. So I've been Horde ever since.
What race?
I mean, multiple. So many.
Well, what's your main class?
It changes every
you get
expansion.
a new. It changes every expansion.
Every expansion I start I pick a different class to continue with. Yeah.
And PvP server or bitch server?
No, PvP every time.
Well, look, you just had to check. There are some people out there that play fucking PvE servers, and I don't understand.
You think I'm not going to be that toxic guy that camps the low level areas and ruins people's days for hours? Yeah. I'm 100% doing that.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Have you always played on the same server?
Yeah. Yep.
What server?
Oh, okay. No,
Oh, yeah.
Get in there
I
and
can't
destroy
remember.
him, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh no. I always played on Bath, PvP server, but
Yeah.
I was also Horde, Blood Elf Paladin was
I hate you.
it's my character.
Yeah, I hate you so much. But
I think my first character was a undead rogue, but
nice.
anyway, 2009 was my first introduction to WoW. It was my first year of uni. I met my now best friend purely by chance. I went to my open day for uni. I was on the bus, and there was a guy sitting across from me that had the same Flinders Uni engineering pamphlet. And he's like, "Oh, you going on this thing?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, "Oh, do you want to hang out together?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." That was not the guy that is now my best friend. This guy introduced me to my best mate, and then
right.
the guy I met on the bus that we both, he just disappeared and we never saw him again. So purely by chance, I was introduced to Jamie on my open day of WoW, and then we became fast friends. But I had the trial version of WoW at the time, like the 30-day or the 14-day free subscription. And I remember Jamie was like, he looked over at my laptop one day and he's like, "Oh, do you play WoW?" And I was like, I'm just giving it a go. Like, I've got the trial. And he's like, "Oh, I used to play WoW." He's like, we should play together." I was like, "Okay." And it very quickly became, we'd, start playing WoW after lectures and tutorials to, we would rock up to uni and then we would be playing WoW every gap between class. And what we'd do, because I was my uni, I was up in the engineering building at Flinders, which is top of the hill, and we'd go down the hill to the library because that's where I'd see like my now wife and friends and stuff. And we'd sit in the library. There'd be these like couches. We'd sit there and we'd play WoW, and we'd have like these 2-3 hour gaps. And then you'd look at the time, you'd be like, "We've got a lecture at the top of the hill in like 10 minutes." And then you'd be like, "Oh, we could just stay here and keep playing WoW."
You could.
We'd be like,
You really could.
"Yeah, all right, we'll do that." And it very quickly got out of hand to the point where I went to uni to sit in those couches and play WoW.
Yeah.
Like I was driving to uni to not go to any of my classes.
Yep. Yep.
First semester,
Shit.
I was fine, got through all my classes, passed everything. Second semester is where things started to get real rough. And I was playing at uni all day, and then I'd go home and I'd play all night. And then lots of my subjects were like super heavily weighted on exams, and there wasn't assignments because it was like physics and
That's-
engineering, mathematics and stuff.
That's
So, 'cause
dangerous.
Because there was no like things that I was having to hit along the way.
Yeah.
I just wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And then it got to the time of these exams, and I was like, I don't know the content.
Wow.
And I rocked up to my first 2 exams, and then I got to the physics for engineering exam. I'm like, I'm not going. Like, I'm not even going to sit the exam. Like, there's no point in me sitting the exam. So I bombed out of my first year of uni of software engineering. Bombed out hard because of WoW. I didn't want to admit to my parents, the reason I've fucked up this bad is because I'm addicted to a video game. So I was like, look, I just don't think software engineering is my sort of thing. And my dad was kind of like, "Oh, well, what are you gonna do? Like, if that's not your thing, what's the plan?" And then my dad ended up having an accident, was spending a lot of time in the hospital, and I was like, "Oh, I've thought about it, and I'm gonna go into nursing." So nursing was my flash decision to not tell my dad like how badly I'd got into WoW.
And why? Sorry, while all these like important life decisions are happening, how much are you still playing WoW?
I think I started to realize how bad it was, and I'd started to drop off. And this is the point where my now wife, but even then, girlfriend of like 5-6 years maybe, was like, look, this has gotten bad. She's like, this is ultimatum time. She's like, either it's WoW or me. And that rule is still in effect. So I've
How much did you hesitate?
No,
I'm joking.
not at all. And she doesn't listen to the podcast, so she doesn't listen to the podcast, so she doesn't know that I went back.
Oh,
I went back and played maybe like a few hours, and I think I'd taken so much time away from the game that when I went back in, and like I did the whole like full on like wrote to Blizzard and went through the process of like having my account like erased.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a matter of like
wow.
paying for it again and starting. So when I did like
Smart.
jump back in, it was from scratch again, and I played for maybe a couple of hours, and I was like, whatever it was that grouped me before is gone. So I only ever played like Wrath of the Lich King sort of expansion era.
That's all you need to play.
I've not played anything beyond that. So but to this day, WoW is on a banned game list for me, even though I've come through and like ruined myself on things like Destiny over the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my WoW.
That's pretty good.
I bombed out of my chosen career path because of WoW, and ended up with a degree in nursing.
Yeah, but what are you doing now?
IT, because I hated nursing.
Yeah.
So did you complete your degree in nursing?
Yeah, because I was like, I was at that point where it's like, I don't want to be that guy who has bombed out of 2 degrees.
Yeah, sure.
And like, I didn't hate every aspect of nursing. But at the end of it, it was difficult to get a job, and I was like, well, I either fight to get it, because this is pre-COVID. If I wanted a nursing job now, I could walk in and have one.
Drop of a hat.
But I was like, this isn't really what I want to do. But I wanted to get the degree and have my fancy piece of paper. And then I went to TAFE, did 12 months at TAFE, and then got a job in IT. Rest is history.
Oh, yeah. You're still on IT? You've still followed the original plan?
Yeah, somewhat. I always wanted to make games. That was what software engineering was meant to do for me. But
hey, it's never too late.
I just play them.
No shit. Brian, you got any? Just FIFA, hey, go on.
Yeah, I guess mine is kind of started in it did start in 2016. So unfortunately, my mum passed away in 2016, and I needed a escape in something. And Lawson and I were friends at this point, and he was like, "Oh,
we're not anymore."
Nah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounded like not friends anymore.
So he was like, "Oh, I used to be really into FIFA," and then I don't know, we were playing indoor and bits and pieces, and I always used to give you shit about soccer sucked and there should be no offside rule and all sorts of things. And then I picked up FIFA 17, and this is where I got my first ever game that needed to be banned. So I took up FIFA 17, and FIFA Ultimate Team was this brand new thing for me, been out for a long time. But I needed to escape into not dealing with my feelings, because I don't deal with feelings at all. So I was I had a...
Men.
Yeah. So my son was born in 2015. So I had a almost 1-year-old, and my mum just passed away. So I'm trying to deal with many things, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some escape into FIFA Ultimate Team. So I was playing FIFA Ultimate Team. I think I took 200 and something losses before I started getting quite good at it. And it was a tough run to begin with. I had no idea what I was doing. And then just because the amount of time and how much escapism I wanted to do, I was getting up at like 4 a.m. when it was like real quiet and playing FIFA just because I got real addicted to it, because as you guys know, I'm a all or nothing kind of guy.
You are a grinder.
Yep, I threw in, and then I started getting quite good at it. I think by the end of FIFA 17, I had 480 wins. I had 300 something losses, and I think I had about 328 losses just in that 1 year cycle of FIFA.
Rules, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a lot of games.
that is a lot of games. And then unfortunately,
How long would a game average be? What's the
the
average?
12 minutes.
is 12
6 and a
minutes.
halves.
Yep.
Mhm.
But then
Not including building time.
yeah, but then FIFA 17 was the first year that Foot Champs was introduced, and Foot Champs you had to play the weekly tournaments, and then when you got into the weekend league, you had to play 40 games from Friday to end of Sunday for me. So I was
nuts.
What?
I was playing weekend league, and I would have a full spreadsheet of how my players performed, and if they didn't perform, I would kick them out of the team. They'd be done. I had like a full logbook of like stats on how they went, and this is how I picked my teams that I really liked. So in FIFA 17, Marco Reus was on the cover, so I picked Marco Reus, and he was a big performer for me. And also Ben Teke is why I follow Crystal Palace. He got I think 3 or 4 informs on that, and Big Ben used to do the big man celebration. And then it was the first year that dabbing also got put in, and it was toxic. The amount of times people would dab on you, you'd run you'd run to the camera and you'd celebrate on people. So
get dabbed on.
Yeah, there was a number of times like if Yolanda had a work show or something, I was like, yes, I get to play FIFA.
Yes!
So it was the only time like I've neglected like sleep and even training to a point where like I just wanted to play FIFA, which carried over to FIFA 18. I remember it coming out and getting up at 3 a.m. so I could grind that morning to be able to get like a full gold team. I would sit on it so early. I'd be on Footbin consistently. And then I made Div 1 in FIFA 17, 18, and then I started to play 19. So this is 2 years of like ages of gameplay.
Yeah.
Of just games. And then 19.
The same game every 12 minutes.
Yeah, consistently. Yeah. And then 19 came out and they had this like 50-50. It was so annoying. It was just higher rated players would like just dominate. So it didn't really matter about stats so much. I ended up uninstalling and reinstalling it a number of times. I didn't get into 20. I think I played a little bit of 21, and then I tried to do a couple of YouTube Road to Glories, but it just kills my time to the point where I was like, no, I'm neglecting like my training and all sorts of things just to play FIFA.
Yeah,
so
it's a part-time job.
Yeah.
You have to like consistently put in like 20, 30 hours a week.
Yeah, 40 games over a weekend. That's really, they're preying on people's addictions. Far out.
Yeah, because you'd get an extra set of rewards as well. And there was a point where
far out.
It was our wedding anniversary, and like my wife and I are not like overly, we're not big on gifts or anything for it.
Yeah.
But she was like, what do you want for it? And I was like, FIFA points. And I got FIFA points for that. Yeah.
How much money did you spend? How much money did you spend on Ultimate Team?
Nah, I'm a tight ass, so I refuse to pay for it. I would rather just grind out and get the points for it. Also, my wife's a very strong personality, so
she controls the money. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't deal with the money whatsoever.
Yeah. Maybe you get like allowance.
Smart.
Yeah. So I had an allowance where it was $100 a week, where she couldn't question me on what I wanted to spend it on, but I couldn't bring myself to spend $100 on FIFA points.
Yeah. Like, other game stuff around.
Yeah. But that was the only game I played for like almost 3 years, just FIFA.
40 games, and this is taking out time it takes to find a game and manage your team.
All the in between,
interchange.
Probably times it by 2.
That is purely like just game time. That's 8 hours over a weekend of FIFA game.
Wow.
Yep.
And I played Ultimate Team. I know how much time goes to not in game. That's that's an insane amount for them
over 2 days
to expect you to play over a weekend.
Yep.
It is less now. It's only 20 games.
Okay.
But
only 4 hours.
It's only 4
Still,
hours, which is more manageable. So I did actually get FIFA this year and tried to do a Road to Glory on the YouTube channel, but I had to delete it because it was just a promo every week, and it's like if you're not playing, you feel like you're missing out. Like you have to grind,
and that's how they get you.
And
I definitely felt like there was a time when I got big into it where it's like, okay, you've got your standard cards, you got your team of the week cards, and your team of the season cards. Like it was gold, blacks, and blues. And then I came back a few years later, and it was like every fucking color under the sun had a different special card, and I was like, I just can't keep up with this anymore.
Yep, it's a full-time job. But
so you weren't a soccer guy before 2016?
Not at all.
Not at all.
See, like all my time knowing you, I've just like you've been a soccer guy. So
no, we used to argue constantly about how much he hated it.
Yep, and he used to buy it every time.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it was just indoor. Indoor all of a sudden made you love it. You played heaps, and then that was it.
Yep. Yeah, and now I watch Dortmund play every week and Crystal Palace play every week.
So yeah, like all my memories of like playing D&D on a Saturday night would be like someone around the table, whether it was you or Pete, would have like a phone out with a soccer game on it. I mean, I was so annoying. Bad. I was watching things like I'd always have the crows on because I was neglecting my season tickets to go and play D&D.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that.
All right, Lawson.
Shit. I have like little moments where I would play. I remember renting not even the good Simpsons game, not Simpsons Hit and Run, Simpsons Road Rage. I rented that for 24 hours once, like overnight rental from Video Easy or whatever. And I remember just sitting there and playing that and not sleeping because I wanted to just do nothing but that. Not sleeping, not eating was like 24 hours of just that one game and then having to return it.
Nice.
Like little stories like that, but nothing. I think probably more, and what's probably been a less. I haven't ruined my time, I think, with any games. But I've spent a lot of money collecting.
I was about to say, if you degeneratively money wise, you've topped us.
Yeah, I think I've never valued my collection. I've insured it for about 10 grand, but I have no idea where it's at.
You've downsized it quite a bit
significantly.
Well. Yeah. Because I remember I used to like I started playing D&D with you guys, and because I met all you guys through my wife essentially, and like I'd be talking to my mates, and I'd be like, oh, this guy that I played D&D with, Lawson, he's like his video game collection is like
so cool,
insane. I was like, and I'd be like, like when you walk into like a video shop and there's just like
walls.
That's like it's like that. Like
yeah, I've still got all my games.
A scale, like a sense of scale.
I sold everything Sega because I never play them. I didn't bother. I didn't grow up with them. But I've still got all my Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo games. But yeah, I think just money wise, I used to, especially before Eb and I like had shared accounts and things like that. And I was at uni, and like if you want to bring in like Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit as well,
it's D&D stuff.
Just like D&D minis and like paints, Warhammer paints, like those sort of nerdy things. I've never like budgeted for anything. I've always just spent what I wanted. There are many occasions where I'd be like, I could buy this, but then I won't be able to have like food properly. Yeah, fuck it, I'll just eat noodles.
That's degenerative. You win.
Yeah,
this is so good. How much money have you spent on nerdy shit overall?
Oh my god.
What do you reckon?
I mean, where do you draw the line on nerdy shit? Like,
what would we talk about on the podcast?
Probably hundreds of thousands total, like across my time. I mean, I'm talking the past 10 years of like teaching. But I've probably, I don't know, just in probably silly amounts. And when I resell,
I don't have any degenerative stories, but I've spent $100,000 on nerd shit.
no total moments, but yeah, I really like spending money. I think growing up, like we grew up. I never say poor, but like we grew up. I get one present Christmas sort of thing. I never got games during the year. I had a friend who he used to go shopping with his mum, and he would literally just grab a game off the shelf and put it in the trolley, and there was no questions asked. And I was always so jealous, and always used to get mad at mum, like, why the fuck can he do that and we can't? And I didn't really totally understand, even though I was like a teenager and I should have. So I think because I grew up having to be like only had a select amount of games that I'd play on repeat, now I'm like, I want every game under the sun. Like even Ryan and I were talking yesterday about Octopath Traveler, and I've got a copy on Switch that I probably played for about 4 hours. And he's like, "Oh, you want to sell it?" I'm like, "No, I'm never going to play it ever again. I'm never going to pick up the cartridge ever again." But I can't bring myself to sell it, and that's me with anything, like gaming wise, anyway. Yeah,
There we go. Degenerative nerds.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I feel like we all have the right to run a nerd podcast now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be the first thing.
Badge of honor.
Nice.
Okay, surprise time.
Surprise time.
I'm so keen.
The
Oh,
lost
it's looking forward to
this.
surprise.
I've been looking forward to this all day.
I was trying to think of something last night, and this is the first thing into my head, and I'm like, you know what? Because it's something that I do bring up with people, because it's one of those questions that can somewhat divide people potentially. Adam Sandler films.
Oh.
What movies did we grow up with? I always think about the fact that I hate Billy Madison. But I didn't watch Billy Madison until I was in like uni, whereas I grew up on like Waterboy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky, that sort of shit, Mr. Deeds even. So I'd love to hear people's opinions on their favorite Adam Sandler films. And do we still like Adam Sandler? Have you watched things that he's in recently?
I hate Adam Sandler.
Actually,
Adam
nice.
Sandler.
Yeah, I
Wow,
think he's
dude.
shitty actor.
Of course.
I hate his humor. I think it's man.
Even when you're a kid?
Yeah, I never really got around to it, and like I don't know, because I've always been into acting. It just I can't appreciate like Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey, and I think he's a genius, and he's a fantastic actor as well. And then I look at Adam Sandler, American fucking dick jokes. No.
But
No,
I mean,
I
Jim
hate it.
Carrey 90s was very similar to Adam Sandler 90s.
No, that is.
Whoa.
Oh, are you kidding?
You can't. Are you saying that
Are you
Ace
kidding?
Ventura and Waterboy aren't similar comedy?
No, maybe the toilet humor or whatever, maybe. But
Isn't that
Jim
what you're talking
Carrey,
about?
his execution of his comedy is like leagues above. Funny joke.
I like Adam Sandler, but I will say that like Jim Carrey's range is quite.
His
quite
range,
good.
100%.
Where Adam Sandler, I think in the 90s was like, it would go from just regular Adam Sandler to just full on screaming.
Loud. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
I don't know. I still like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, The Waterboy, and then even The Wedding Singer. I really liked.
Yeah.
And then he had a bit of a down sort of trot when he was like made. I guess he had kids. It was like 50 First Dates. Still pretty good. Still enjoyable. The Longest Yard. Click.
I
Longest Yard's
love
great.
The Longest Yard.
Yeah. Love Longest Yard.
Click.
And Click. I
was quite
cannot
good.
watch
Hate.
Click without ugly crying every time.
Yeah, right.
That movie
It gets
pisses me off.
every fucking time. I don't care.
No, I hate Click. To me, that they could just, if the remote didn't have the whole memory recording thing, because if people always ask a question, any superpower, what would it be? Mine would be time control, being able to pause time, rewind time, fast forward time. I think the remote is amazing. That is, it remembers the things you want and that makes you appreciate, don't fast forward life. Dumb. Superpower, give me that shit.
Nah, super strength every time.
What's the point? You'd never be able to train.
That would just be super
This is
strong.
another topic we could do.
That's the whole point.
We'll save this topic.
Yeah, let's hold on to it.
right.
Hold on to it. I like it.
Have we watched Jack and Jill
Oh,
or seen it?
I think I got
No.
to the dinner. I think I got about 10, 15 minutes in. I couldn't do it.
Is that the one where it's two of him? Is that like
He plays him and his sister.
Nutty
Yeah.
Professors, but
Yes.
like Adam Sandler?
Yeah,
Yes.
terrible.
It's probably his worst. It's definitely up there.
I don't know. Pixels pretty bad.
I haven't watched it.
Pixels is like after his run of like romantic comedies and stuff, he had kids and wanted his kids to be able to watch him. And then he did like Pixel, like Hotel Transylvania, and a few others.
Sure,
do you
you're
ever
looking at
watch
the list now.
the Do Over, which was Netflix
No.
one? It was bad.
I've watched Blended, which is another one of his romantic comedies.
Yeah.
I like Blended. It's got
Blended
Terry
was
Crews
good.
in it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Have you seen any of his newer stuff where he's going a bit more like serious, like Hustle? Really good. I really enjoyed that.
Fool's Gold, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Hustle's
what's the one where
basketball
he's like what's the one where he's like the shoe guy?
Shoe
like
guy?
He's like a cobbler or something in one of them. It was one of his more serious ones. Apparently, it got like people liked it.
I know Uncut Gems is good though.
The Cobbler, literally called The Cobbler.
No. I haven't seen it. I've seen clips and heard things. I've they're kind of my guilty pleasure sort of films.
Same.
I like Grown Ups.
Grown Ups is great.
Grown Ups 1. Grown Ups 1's good.
Grown Up. I still watch Grown Ups 2. I still enjoyed it. Hotel Transylvania. He's only in the first 3, I think.
He's in all of them because he's Dracula.
And somebody else voices Dracula in the 4th one.
Do they?
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Pretty sure it's not him in the 4th one. You can look it up and clarify.
Doing it now.
But like I like those films. Like sometimes I just want to sit down and watch a dumb, just like just a dumb film. Like
Damo's judging.
Oh, I hear his voice and I just get mad and I can't.
There's a nostalgia thing. Like we talked about before, only having a few movies, DVDs, or whatever that I had. Like I only had a few DVDs. 2 of those were Waterboy and Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Like I've watched them maybe hundreds of times, honestly, especially Waterboy.
I wonder if so I was never allowed to. Oh, hello. Shit, sorry, my sister's here. I'm gonna have to probably go soon. Okay. I wonder if I never was allowed to watch Happy Gilmore.
Right.
Because it was pretty much like, what rating is it?
Probably M.
I'm
not sure.
Yeah, I reckon when it came out, I would have been like 13 or something. I was never allowed to watch it. Yeah, so I wonder if I missed out on this amazing movie that changed people's lives.
It's a timepiece.
Yeah. Also, Brian Hall is Dracula's voice in number 4.
In the 4th one,
yeah. I didn't even notice.
No, like they got someone that sounds like the same character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adam Sandler growing up was like, I remember like Channel 10, like that 8 o'clock movie slot on a Friday night. Like whenever there was an Adam Sandler film on there, it'd be like, oh yeah, we're in for a good night.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like it was always like your Billy Madisons and your Happy Gilmores, and then you'd get your Jim Carrey, like Liar Liar. Like that was your sort of like, I felt like those films were always on that Friday night time slot. Back on free to air was your only.
Yeah, Liar Liar. I'd put Liar Liar very similar comedy. Like Jim Carrey, I'm not taking away that his range. Jim Carrey's one of my favorite actors as well. He in like I Love You, what's it called? I Love You, Philip Morris. Moving, beautiful. But when that like 90s over the top loud comedy of America, you can't say Jim Carrey wasn't doing that. That's exactly what he was doing.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but he's executing it on a level of comedic genius that's just fucking up here. And Adam Sandler.
No,
No,
I don't agree.
No, you're wrong on that one.
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
Yeah, the Riddler.
No shit. I did a costume party as a Riddler once.
Oh, really?
You guys just don't understand acting, all right?
All right.
Oh my god, you're such a penis.
All
right. Snob.
You just don't get it. Okay.
But Little Nicky, like that's
Simpletons.
one of my partner and I's like guilty pleasures. We'll watch that pretty frequently. And, we'll quote it all the time. Little Nicky's so dumb and so funny. But yeah, I just wanted to just see what people thought of Adam Sandler.
That was fun. That's funny. That's good. I like the surprise.
Yeah, nice. That was a good surprise. That makes sense why you had Little Nicky in the background.
Little Nicky. Yeah, I was hoping that my head.
Like, I honestly, when I saw it, I was like, it's going to be what's your favorite Adam Sandler film.
Yep, more or less. That's what it became.
Fair.
What is our favorite Adam Sandler film then?
Oh, Big Daddy, I reckon.
Fair. I think that is
it's a
good.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I reckon I
agree.
could always watch Happy Gilmore.
Gilmore's good.
Yeah. Waterboy for me because it's the most nostalgic.
Yeah.
Do you have
Same.
any that you like, Damo, at all?
No, the part where I change the channel.
The credits.
wow.
Oh, here we go. I'm an actor.
He's not good acting. He needs to be more Brechtian and less Philadelphian. Some bullshit. I don't fucking know. I studied. I actually did drama at uni. I just remember nothing about it.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
Funny shit.
All right,
Lovely.
That's a good segment.
The end.
Number 4.
As usual, if anybody knows anyone at Under Armour and they want to sponsor us down under, let them know.
Yep.
Consistency.
We need Audible. We could actually get Audible to sponsor us. Like
No,
they do
we
sponsors
actually
all the
couldn't at
time.
the moment.
No, we tried.
I reached out to Audible.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys want to sponsor the podcast, or if you know any businesses that would be like, oh, this is a really good for your business, let them know. We're happy to be in talks with them. I'll put the email address below for the show notes on Spotify. And if you guys really want to make someone's days better, like let them know about the podcast, tell them about all the nerdy news that they can get and all the jokes and how good of an actor Damo is and how he doesn't like Adam
nerd
Sandler.
homework for the week.
Yeah. Or
everybody has to share it with one other person.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. And if you
That's
put
it.
it on the socials,
Pyramid scheme.
I'll actually respond to you guys. I might tell the others.
You're
but
very
probably
good at you're very quick at responding on the socials.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go because I like to be a man of the people. Let's put it that way. man of the nerds. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. So yeah, put it in the show notes if you want us to talk about a nerdy topic or whatever. Or you got good ideas, put them in the comments below. Also, please, if you want to give us a 5-star rating, do that on Apple, Spotify. But if you're not going to do 5-star, don't worry about it. Just tell your friends. So
Tell your friends.
Leave that one out. And we'll see you guys later. Sing us out, Jimmy, because you got the best voice of all of us.
It's been the news.